Hello, everyone. So today we're doing a review or assessment or follow up, if you will, of Gen Con. So 2021. So we kind of talk about what we liked, what we didn't like about it, just any of the things that were real big hits and misses. So for me, starting out, it didn't feel like Gen Con day one when I got there. When we arrived on Wednesday,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
it was empty.
Dead. It was dead.
I mean, it was.
Which I anticipated that, but not to that level.
Yeah,
I thought
I
was
was
dead,
completely shocked when we walked in to the convention hall. There was absolutely nobody. Yeah. I think we ran into a total of 5 people in the walk between the JW Marriott and all the way down to the merch booth.
And like Sean, he went directly into will call and directly out.
Yeah, there was no one in will call.
Nobody.
Yeah, it was uncanny. And on that walk, there was no decoration. There were no banners, nothing. It was just pure,
it just looked like, it just looked like the convention center.
I take that back. There was one little blow up
for the
dragon arch
for the kids' pictures.
That was the only thing down that entire hallway.
Yeah.
It felt weird.
It did feel, I didn't think it was bad. It just felt I do think it felt odd.
Yeah, that was like our first impression when we got there, and it was kind of off-putting for me.
Yeah, I understand. It wasn't so much so for myself, but it was just so quiet.
Yeah,
I think that's the part that kind of struck me. It's not just the lack of people; it's just so quiet.
Yeah,
because usually it's so loud.
Yeah, but granted,
even on Wednesdays.
But Wednesdays are always a little lighter,
not that light.
Not that light, no. So that was our first impression. We went to we have our annual traditional kickoff of Gen Con at Weber Grill, and that was fine.
I always miss because I volunteer for Chip Theory, and so I have to go to that.
Yeah. So and then we went back and we played games. So the first big hit was we got to meet someone at Gen Con. So we normally we just stick to our own group, and we tried to venture out. Somebody posted on Facebook that they were looking for people to hang out with because they were coming alone, and we thought, well, yeah, sure, come hang out with us. And,
sure.
Brian came and joined us, and we
had a couple
great times. Well, he was with us most of the convention.
Yeah, it was great meeting
checking
Ryan.
in with us. It was great. Yeah, so Ryan,
buddy, for you, buddy.
It was a great Gen Con. It was great meeting you. So that was our best experience. I think my best experience, anyway, was getting to know Ryan and getting to know meet people there. I actually got to meet Veronica, who lives close to us, and she may be coming and visiting and joining us for games sometime. So that was another hit for the convention, just getting to know some people.
Gen Con Day 1. Quite a crowd here today. Getting ready to go in for being a first convention. Oh, there's Miranda. So this is our first convention since the COVID, so this will be exciting to see how interesting it is as far as how large and how the crowd is nowhere near what it normally is, but it's still a good crowd.
So my observation so far with Gen Con, first of all, the crowd is about half what it normally is, if that. It's probably maybe even a third. Most of the booths, what they have in stock is older games. They don't have a lot of new releases here. There was, I think there's about 550 new releases at Gen Con this year. I think there was 150 to 200 max. And, most of those are titles I wasn't interested in. So by the time I pared it down, I think I had a list of 60 or less games to check out. And then of those, only 3 were must-haves. So there weren't nearly the game quantities that I normally would be seeing out there. Getting to booths, not a problem this year. There's a little bit of crowds right as it opens, but after that, you can just pretty much walk up to a booth. There's not much as far as lineage.
There's a few popular games like the Gale Force 9 Dune releases that seem to be attracting crowds. Pandasaurus had for early on, right as it opened a line to get to the dinosaur world and to the Loop, the two that I picked up. Those were really the hot ones for them. But other than that, I haven't. Well, there was a line at Everdell booth. Mostly, I think it's just people wanting to add to supplements to the game. They had some sales going on some of the add-ons, so that that was really the draw there because there weren't really any new releases they had. So apart from that, there's just not much here as far as the things that normally would attract me to Gen Con. So it's kind of a down year, but getting to meet a lot of people, hopefully bringing some more people to view our channel, and hopefully enjoy it. We're getting to play a lot of games. Got to play a couple good ones last night. Got to have our dinner kickoff at Weber Grill like we do every year. So that was fun, and we're just enjoying our time here, just trying to find new ways to enjoy it because it's just not the same. We'll say it's much more exhausting trying to carry all these games with a mask on, which is a shame, but it's a shame that right now this world is the way it is, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and so we're all putting up with it, but it feels more like a health risk actually wearing it, carrying all these games, because at my age anyway, I know I'm getting winded much earlier and getting a lot more exhausted as I walk. So I'm going to have to probably take it easier as far as buying games and carrying them, that's for sure. But thankfully there's not a lot of them to buy for me, so it's not going to be nearly as much to carry. But like I said, I'm making do with ones that I may have passed on in the past and not got up here and maybe picked up somewhere else. And Miranda seems to be doing well picking up things that she likes as well. So we're all doing pretty well up here. She's got a lot more of accessory and decorative stuff that she's been picking up. She did find a couple games she was really interested in. I think she's getting the deluxe version of Hully, and she had Vivid Memories, I believe is the name of it, was another one that really attracted her eye. So she's checking those out. I think she's picking those up here while I speak. So all in all, not quite the same as a normal Gen Con, still fun. So we are just finished up with our demo of the new Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion. They don't have it for sale here, unfortunately, but they did have it available for a ticketed playthrough. I think it was didn't really know for sure that's what it was, because they said it was Lost Ruins of Arnak special event, but I suspected it's probably a demo, and it was. Got to say, I'm still mixed on it. It added variable player powers to the game. It adds variable starting cards to the game, and it also added a new track to the, as far as the expedition track. So it changed the game significantly, but it was still fun. It's still Arnak. It didn't change it, that dramatically. So I'm sure it'll grow on me. But first playthrough, just always hard when there's variable player powers in particular it's introduced. But just wanted to catch you all up. We're going to be playing later on this week a giant version of Galaxy Trucker, so I'm looking forward to that. Saw people crawling all over the floor picking tiles, and that'll be fun. Assuming the mask doesn't wear me out with the crawling, because high exercise type thing while you're doing it, it's going to be, at my age, it's going to be kind of tough.
I got a lot of hits. I mean, I had a great time. I always volunteer for Chip Theory because they're my favorite board game company. So got to work with them, and I represent them as far as demoing, which is always a good time. But I got to talk to Tom Bassel for about 10, 15 minutes, and Mike Delicio was there, so another Dice Tower guy, and so it's kind of neat talking to those guys at the booth while helping out with Chip Theory. But just the whole Chip Theory crew is they're such good people, and they're so great to work with. So I had a great time there. Playing games with Ryan, had a good time with that. I thought that was a really good time. And just, I don't know if you think it's a negative, but for me, I actually like having less people there. I mean, it was because it was more subdued. I mean, I was able to walk easily throughout the exhibit hall, which was really nice, not shoulder to shoulder, getting pushed around by a bunch of people. I was really happy that everybody was in a good mood. I thought going in that a lot of people would be like, oh, I gotta wear these masks and just angry at the world. I didn't experience that at all. Everybody that came to the booth while I was working was masked up. Everybody out on the floor was masked up, and everybody seemed happy, and they were happy to be there, and I was happy to be there with them. Yeah. So I thought it was a huge hit.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with you on the convention floor. It was nice to be able to walk down the aisles. And the big surprise for me was how full the convention
It was a lot more people than what I thought.
Well, it wasn't the people, it was the exhibit hall.
Yes.
I expected it was going to be
packed.
pretty empty. Now, there were some places where there was clearly supposed to be a booth that was empty, and it was probably last-minute cancellations, and that felt a little weird. But
there were still, I agree, there was a lot more exhibitors than what I thought.
Yeah, I did not expect that many exhibitors to be there, and that was a pleasant surprise. So I was really greatly appreciative of that, because that's where I spend most of my time.
And it makes me wonder, too, if like some of the smaller publishing companies that were there got to get more exposure because of that.
Well, yeah, I know there were a lot of booths that were doing Kickstarters that didn't really have anything product for sale.
But they're demoing the final copies or the mass production copies.
So I think that was probably, we got some more of that.
Yeah, I got to see Merchants of the Dark Road. Can't wait for that.
So, and we did get to talk to some companies about potentially partnering as far as getting some of their product early to show on the channel. So that was cool. I'm really looking forward to that. One thing miss on our part was we didn't have business cards with us, and that was a big miss on our part. So next year we will have business cards. We had a Popple thing that we used for trying to give people, and that worked intermittently because some people's phone security setup may or may not allow it. Yeah, so that was a miss on our part.
But we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning, and apparently there's a pre-Gen Con signups for setting up times with vendors for that, which we didn't know about. So we made some blunders. As far as the convention, I will have to say, frustrating as it is, I understand why we had to have masks, but that was a big miss for me.
It wasn't for me.
Well, the main thing is when I was at my age and my being out of shape and having to haul games back and forth from the convention hall, that mask made it more draining.
I agree, and it was hard demoing games because not only do you have to be loud, but you have to speak through the mask, so that made it even a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
very hot while you're trying to talk that much with wearing that mask because of your breath coming back at you. But it didn't bother me. I mean, I was okay with it. I mean, it was a little uncomfortable, but.
Well, I canceled 2 events because of the mask. I can tell you that for sure.
I was willing to accept. I was able to accept it because I was having such a good time.
Well, I was having a good time too, and I understand why they did it. It's not like I'm complaining about it. It's just you just didn't. I probably wouldn't go again if the mask mandate were there next year. I would probably not go. I probably wouldn't go.
Okay.
Because it was so debilitating because my main purpose is to buy games, it really hindered me on that. It drained me big time.
He still bought a lot of games.
Yeah, I still bought a lot of games, but it did impact me being able to do it in a way that wasn't risking my health or me being able to get back to the floor without having to take an hour-long break to get cleaned off and everything else. And I went through like 6 masks while I was up there, all smelling and stinky because I had to keep changing them out. So I don't think I would do it again. But the main thing was I had to cancel. I had a mega game I was supposed to be at, and I'm like, I can't do a 3-hour event that is going to involve wearing a mask and not be able to take a break.
Right.
The good thing was the VIG thing was a hit for me. The VIG had an area where you could take the mask off, so I could cut out, go back to the VIG booth, take it off for a break, and then go back. That was nice. So that helped a lot. I will say this is my first year as a VIG. that was the biggest perk, I think, of the entire thing. We got a swag bag, which was okay. Apparently, from what I understand from previous VIGs, this was like one of the downer years for VIG packs. They didn't give us that much, but
it kind of makes sense with what's going on.
yeah, I mean, I think it's
Overall.
mostly that the exhibitors, because there were less exhibitors
Right.
there of size, larger companies, there probably was less donations to the VIG bag. But what they did put in was really nice. They put, nicer than typical
I
bags.
love that bag that you
Yeah,
got.
that bag's
thing is
amazing.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I'll be carrying that satchel with me next year, assuming
that's the one
mask
thing you
mandate
got
isn't
that I
there.
was super jealous of.
Yeah.
I really like that bag.
Yeah,
I
well,
might steal
Miranda stole my lunch bag already, so no, you can't steal it. So that was a big hit for me. So the other perk, of course, is getting a hotel, but this year that didn't really apply because everybody could get a hotel downtown.
Pretty much everybody was able to.
So I mean, it wasn't a big perk for being in the VIG.
And so, if you didn't know, Gen Con limited the number of attendees, so it was down to 35,000. That's the most that they could do. So, I mean, the Big 50 was over 80,000 people, so that's a huge drop, and it was noticeable.
Yeah, it was definitely noticeable, and there was much less events this year. That was a big miss in my opinion, as far as there weren't that many different things to do.
That didn't bother me so much.
No LARPs. I mean, there was I think maybe 5 or 6.
Well, yeah, like True Dungeon wasn't there this year, and so a lot of that side of the convention just. I mean, in the fact that D&D was at our hotel. Yeah. Usually that's in the convention center. Yeah. And so
that took away a lot of the gaming area in our hotel that we could have used, which was kind of frustrating. So we had to kind of find such creative places.
But we did.
We did. Oh, yes. We found our own niches. Unfortunately, it was out of the way from people, so we didn't get to meet anyone because we found holes in the wall.
I'd be like, where are you at?
Yeah. We're in the dark alley downstairs. If you go, so, our hope was we were going to be able to give out a lot of the T-shirts from the playing people, and that didn't work out at all. We just ended up handing out T-shirts in the end because we just didn't play in areas where
we didn't want
to
bring them back.
Yeah. We were playing areas where we were going to be able to meet people and play. So it didn't work out as.
But Miranda got him out, so hopefully that gets a little bit of our name out there.
Yeah, if you were lucky enough to get a shirt, wear it with pride and let us know.
Picture. Yeah, send us pictures of them.
So I would say those were my biggest grievances with it. As far as was the VIG program, I guess my grievance there was the fact that they mandated that the new VIGs attend this year, which was, I thought, kind of a crummy thing.
I was bummed because previous VIGs, you could piggyback off of someone that bought it, and your badge was a little bit more expensive, but you're able to take advantage of, like, the one guy that bought the big package, then you can buy a VIG attached to that person. And you could only do that one time. And so you used to be able to do like 10.
Yeah, now it's only 1, but you can get 2 rooms. But the big thing with the VIG was, like, if you were a previous VIG holder, you could roll your badge over to next year and not attend this year if you had the choice. I didn't have that choice. As a new VIG, I had to attend. So if I had gotten ill or anything beforehand, I was out of luck. Either I'm going to have to...
Or let someone borrow your badge.
Well, you can't do that. That's against you'll be banned for life if you do that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can't let someone use your badge. So basically, you're out of luck. You're either paying the money and not going.
You have to attend all 4 days, or did it just the one day?
You have to buy the badge. They don't really care if you show up, but you have to pay for the badge. So I mean, you're throwing away $700 or whatever it is for nothing.
Sure.
So that was a little bit of a frustration with the program. The fact that it felt like they were trying to force us to attend to earn some of the money back to make up for Gen Con not being there last year.
I kind of get it, though. The rumor was that if Gen Con didn't have the convention this year, there wasn't going to be a Gen Con afterwards.
Well, yeah, so to let the other VIGs roll it over, but not the ones who are new, that felt a little...
I get it.
But all in all, I still had a great time going.
I did too.
I came home with still a lot of games, not as many as normal, but a lot of games.
Between him and Miranda, they had a lot.
But Miranda bought a lot more games than normal, and Miranda threw me because I wasn't expecting that. She normally gets, she normally buys out the Japanime booth,
right,
and then gets some RPG stuff, and then some stuff for the family.
Ton of stuff.
She came home with lots of board games. She bought more, almost, I wouldn't say almost as many as me, but she bought a lot of more board games than I expected.
I got the impression you spent about the same amount of money, but it wasn't all you this time. It was.
Yeah, oh yeah, we definitely spent the money.
Yeah, it was just divided a little bit more evenly between the two of you.
Well, I don't know if I like that.
Usually 80-20, it's more 50-50.
But she bought a lot of, and I bought her a lot of stuff
Yeah.
too, because she would say, "Oh, I really want that, but I don't want to spend the money," and I ended up buying it for her. So yeah, I mean, we came home with.
And then of course I couldn't come home with any cool stuff because what I found that was cool, you went and bought it too.
Well, you still got it.
I did, but it's nothing unique to me. So
I didn't buy Transformers or G.I. Joe deck builders.
because you don't like straight deck builders.
Well,
that don't count.
I like Transformers, all right. So I let you buy it.
But my
because I knew you would-
management, I couldn't have that. Although you didn't buy Enchanters, but that's not your kind of game.
No.
So,
Well, my management I was going to pick up anyway. I was just going to order it from. Actually, I ordered it from our local
right.
retail.
But it would have been the retail, not the deluxe.
Right. Which then I had to go back and get the deluxe.
So
But yours has a picture drawn in
that's
it.
true.
Mine
That's
does
true.
not.
That's true.
So yours is special.
It is. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, that, you already went through and saw all the stuff I got. You want to run down what you picked up?
So I was real excited about my management deluxe. I got as Randy mentioned, the Transformers G.I. Joe deck building games. I got some. I'm dipping my toes on the dark side of the gaming. Randy wasn't particularly happy, but I got some Warhammer stuff. So I got a faction, the Harlequins for Warhammer Kill Team, and I bought some Underworld stuff because I like deck building, and that's a big part of that game. So I got that. Enchanters, beautiful card game that I got, and then I ordered and they shipped me the Madeira. I don't know, you didn't get to see that yet, but it's a huge box adventure dungeon crawl type game. Looks really good. So those are my big purchases. I got some small pictures, shout out to Wedding Games and Brandon and their crew because I got some more Never Going Home stuff. So
Yeah. Matter of fact, Brandon is supposed to come and be on our channel here soon. We've been talking about that. I was like, "Why haven't you been here?" And he's like, "I don't know. I really should be." So we'll have the Wedding Games here with us.
Yeah, he could totally pitch his stuff, and he's not taking advantage of it.
Well, it's sold really well.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Matter of fact, he owes me because I sold a copy for him on Facebook yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah. So yeah, he owes me. So our good friends Brandon and Matt had a booth. Were Wedding Games. They were at Gen Con and they were selling better at their booth. They sold better than any of the other independent gaming companies.
Yeah, there was always people there when I went by to say hey to them. So it was great.
They had a lot of traffic. So yeah, kudos to them. They did a great job. And they have a great game, so that's why. So yeah, all in all, I mean, it was
had a blast.
It was a fun convention.
I'm still recovering a little bit. My voice still isn't 100%.
Yeah, well, it never is.
Yeah, that's true.
And my muscles are still sore from it. A week later, I'm still trying to, because it's like I move like maybe less. I think I probably get about maybe 1,000 steps a day average. And I went up there, and like the 1 year I had a Fitbit up there on day one, I logged 28,000 steps in one day.
And that's not cheating like some people do. Where they,
no, that was pure steps.
Legit walks.
Yes, that was the walk of shame from the convention hall to
JW.
The JW. Yeah.
Carrying 100+ pounds worth of games at one point.
Yeah, and the worst, I don't know if I've told this story on the channel or not, but the worst time we had, I was picking up Brass Birmingham and Brass Lancaster. Two copies, because we both got one. Yep. I ordered it for him. And I'd ordered extra poker chips on top of that.
And these are good, like 11.5 milligram chips.
So I had 2 sets of extra.
Or gram chips.
And you were working the Chip Theory booth, as always. And it was my birthday weekend, as typically Gen Con falls. And you were buying me Cloudspire, I believe.
All in
Cloudspire. So I was getting Martin Wallace's signature on all the brass.
Yep, which is amazing.
Yes. And I said to meet me over there, thinking you could come meet me and help carry the games over. You misinterpreted my invite and brought all of the Cloudspire to surprise me, which was a great surprise on a normal day. At that time, it was like, what were you thinking? I need you to help carry this. So here we are. He's got a whole bag of poker chips.
I have all the Cloudspire, one in each hand, because I have my copy and his copy. You had all the brass.
And we had to make, it was a walk of 45 minutes.
That normally takes 10.
Yeah, from the convention hall through up to the JW. We had to stop every few seconds. My hands were blistered, coming carrying those bags. And
But 2 amazing games.
Oh, yes. Well, 3. You had 2 brasses.
Well, that's true. Brass Lancashire and Birmingham.
Yeah.
So 3 amazing games.
So, yeah, but carrying all of that was the worst.
It was a bear.
And Miranda, stopped by and laughed at us. That was her contribution. And we had to rest for an hour, I think, after we got back to the room.
It just collapsed.
Yes. So, advice to you guys, don't ever try this at home.
Right. Yeah. Moderation. Moderation is good.
I don't understand that word.
I know you don't understand that word, but moderation is good.
So, well, do you have any last thoughts about the Gen Con 2021?
I had a blast. Really looking forward to next year. A little bummed that I didn't have enough vacation time to go to some of the other conventions that normally we would consider like either Origins. I really want to go to PAX Unplugged one day. So, but I'm out of vacation, so couldn't go. But Gen Con 2021. Awesome sauce.
I guess my next big thing is Dice Tower Cruise.
Yeah, I'm
in
jealous.
February.
Too.
Yeah,
cool.
Our 5-year anniversary. Miranda and me are going to the Dice Tower Cruise in February. So looking forward to that.
I'm super jelly.
So yeah, we'll give you the rundown of how that goes. It'll be my first cruise, so there might be a heavy heaving going on because of that. We'll see.
He'll be green, but it'll be all right.
That's all right. Yeah. I'll still get some gaming in. I don't care if
Absolutely.
I'm heaving.
You'll have a bucket on the side. Excuse me.
All right. On that note, let's close this up.
Yep.
So, to see you at Gen Con 2022.
Make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure you leave any comments if you have any about your experience at Gen Con experience, whether it was 2021 or previously. We'd love to hear about it.
Yep. Love to hear. And if you have any conventions you're attending coming up, we'd like to hear about those too.
Yep. Or what games you're excited about.
Yep. All right. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.